Hey, welcome to Genre Exposure, a film podcast. Join us as we explore the wide world of cinema, broaden our horizons. We're not really going one movie at a time this time. This is a bonus episode.
You threw me there.
Yeah.
That's like, did you fuck up?
That's pretty
This
good.
is our 2022 year in review wrap-up. And as usual, I'm one of your hosts, Dustin, and I am here with Michael.
Hello.
And Jason.
Hey, everyone.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Man, we survived another year. Doing good.
We did it.
Christmas is over. Mm-hmm. It was exhausting.
As it is.
The big cyclone code bomb, whatever thing it was, has gone off, and I think most of it's past us.
We had a flash freeze our way.
Yeah, that was cold as balls.
It was yeah.
I feel bad for people who live that life like on the daily.
Yeah.
When it's like negatives and you're constantly dripping your faucets and afraid your power's going to go out.
Yeah, fuck all that.
I feel for you people that live that way.
Not for me.
No,
Can't
I'm good.
go there.
I'm good.
So this is our usual casual, relaxed, end of the year episode. We're going to talk about some stats about the podcast, review what's happened, talk about some fun stuff, some stuff that maybe didn't pan out, and then we're going to wrap up with our favorite film discoveries of the year.
Awesome.
So nice and easy, nice and breezy,
I'm casual.
keeping it casual.
We're always casual. What are you
casual.
talking about?
Pants unbuttoned, it's whatever. Whatever happens.
Pants.
I wear stretchy pants.
Where we're going, we don't need pants.
Anyone who has not discovered stretchy pants by now, like, man, I feel sorry for
Like
you.
sweatpants?
No. Jeans, stretchy jeans.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, if you haven't... That's where it's at.
So to wind us back to the start of this year, wow, that was great.
You may be wondering, who am I? Who are we? That's me, right there in the corner. Genre Exposure, film podcast.
You're probably wondering how we got here.
Wow. Okay. No, we had a major shakeup. We changed our format completely. The first year we had kind of just doing a freewheeling, like, whatever movie, whatever. And then we decided to formalize that more with this whole, like, block format. Where we have a topic, we have a theme, and then we would each curate a film to go along with that.
Yep.
And at the start of the year, we kind of said, hey, we don't know how this is going to work. We're just going to do it. Let us know. And I guess to wrap back around to that now, the end result of that is that it was probably a good idea in the end. It seems like it's done well.
So we're making money now, is what you're saying?
Not quite.
Oh. Okay.
We're still in the negative.
Still in the negatives. Labor of love. I have a bunch of stats to go over just to chronicle the year. So this first set all comes from Spotify, which is our most frequented platform for listeners. As far
I better
as that
hate
goes.
it, man. It's
not surprising. Yeah,
it's the
biggest
standard.
one,
You
yeah.
can't fight it.
It's the big elephant in the room. So during the course of this year, we released 30 episodes. Now, that's a combination of our main ones and the quick cut bonus episodes. Among that, we had about 3,000 minutes of content, which is crazy when you think about it.
That is crazy.
I felt every minute of it.
We've been listened to across 21 different countries. According to Spotify, the top 5 are the US, Switzerland, the Philippines, Germany, and Brazil.
That is a very eclectic mix.
It is.
And I love it. It's appropriate for what we do.
What I'd really want to happen, like, if any of those people still listen to the show, if we
It
haven't...
wasn't a one and done.
If we haven't run them off and they still listen, I would totally love for anybody from those countries just to tweet at us and just say, hey, where are you from?
And give us some fun movies from your region that we can watch.
Yes. Because seeing Philippines on this list, I was like, man, I would love to do...
We got to do Filipino, yeah.
both, like,
some fun.
local region films and then also, like, American co-productions. Because I thought about, like, Hemisphere Pictures, right? And, like, the Blood Island films and all that stuff.
Yep.
Jason needs some recommendations for some Filipino porn, too.
Absolutely. I do.
From every country. Give me your top film you'd like me to watch and your top pornography you think I should watch.
So as far as growth compared to, like, our first year and then now this year, our streaming through Spotify increased by 385%.
It's because 2 more people
Which
started
is,
listening.
like, a big number. But again, like, that first year, we were really, really thin on things.
Well, it
so
sounds impressive.
It sounds nice. Followers increased by 166%. Listeners increased by 142%.
Nice. It's like measuring your penis in centimeters instead of inches.
And again, we're still, like,
I
small
go for
time.
millimeters, actually.
Microns.
It's more impressive.
Again, we're like small time, so those are like whatever relative. But it is nice to know that just like, hey, it is going somewhere.
People are listening, and we thank each and every one of you.
According to Spotify, the output in minutes that we make for our show is more content than 91% of all other creators in their TV and film category.
Huh.
So what that says to me is that we work way too hard.
Wow. That's not like me.
I need to scale it back. I mean, I am scaling it back.
Yeah, you're scaling
I put in too much work, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta go.
Our episode on Occult, directed by Koji Shiraishi. It got about 150% more streams than his average for our episodes. So for some reason, that one drew people.
I wonder why.
I don't know.
It was the taboo of it.
You think so?
That we were like, this is a gray area film. We can't tell you how to get it, but it's out there. And people were like, it's a snuff film.
It's a snuff film.
During the first week of October, we had a 100% more listener increase compared to the average week.
No.
So that was the start of the extreme horror block that you and I pioneered by ourselves, Jason.
I was too scared for it.
No, I think that means we need to steer into just all extreme horror all the time.
And notably, that week is when we did a Serbian film.
Nice.
So
okay.
If you change this to like all extreme all the time, the final episode is just gonna be Jason sitting in the corner crying.
Dude, I could take it.
I mean, I know you can.
He does like the Blair Witch monologue, but it's about watching extreme horror. Yeah. I just want to say I'm sorry to Michael and Dustin.
Snot bubble and everything.
Mom and Dad. According to Spotify, our podcast was in the top 10% most shared globally. Now, again, that's cool, and it sounds like a lot, but then you got to think about the fact there's like millions upon millions and millions of podcasts.
What? I don't believe you.
When you're talking about the top 10%, like that is good, but it is relative to everything.
Hundreds. Literally hundreds out there.
And last bit of things from Spotify, we are in the top 25% most followed podcasts. Again, all relative, but fun to know.
It sounds nice. You know, it feels good.
It's a good pickup line if any of us, if we weren't
hey, baby.
all in, you know, like
Committed,
married or committed, be like, hey, baby, I'm in the top 25% Spotify podcast. And then you say podcast, and they're like, bye-bye.
Yeah.
They say, oh, like the two assholes from David Gordon Green's Halloween. Okay, well, bye now.
Cool. So do you make money? No.
Oh, God, no.
No, absolutely not.
No, it's really about the pride of doing it more.
Bye-bye.
So I have some more stats from Podbean, which is our primary hosting site, as everyone's going to know.
This episode is brought to you by Podbean. Actually, it's not. They don't give a shit. We pay them.
We pay them, yeah. So from what they track, which they pull numbers from Spotify, but also from their own things and other locations, their listing of the top 5 countries is the US, the UK, Switzerland, India, and Australia.
Another eclectic mix.
Yeah, another eclectic mix.
There's some crossing there.
Yeah, the US and Switzerland hit on both.
Cool.
Oh, it was our Australian film that
Fortress.
You think so?
Yeah, Fortress. People were like,
we gotta do more Australian movies.
I know that movie. Watched it when I was a kid.
Maybe it traumatized.
It was on television. It was on the telly. I don't know what they say. I'm sorry for all any Australian listeners. They're like, he's a fucking.
And so for the U.S., we can break this down further into top states, and those are in order: California, Arkansas, New York, Texas, and Florida.
Okay, that's just fucking weird.
But also none of which are the state that we live in, which means that no one we know fucking listens at all.
So
I know there's at least one person.
So you may ask yourself, where does our home state of Kentucky fall on this list? It's number 7. So,
I mean, I'm not surprised at all.
So clearly we should move out west, I guess, is the takeaway.
Obviously.
That.
When you shared that with us before, that made me laugh because it's like, well, that tells me no one I know actually listens to this thing, which,
that's fine. I'm okay with that.
It's probably for the better.
I don't want my family listening to this anymore.
No, I really don't.
Not after a Serbian film, no.
Your mom, man. If
that's the first one she decides to listen to.
If your mom listened, this Christmas is real awkward. No wonder you didn't go down there this year. Your mom started listening.
Our top platforms as far as where people find our show, Spotify's number 1, like I said, followed up closely by Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and then Podbean itself. And you may wonder, where are some of those weird ancillary ones that we've talked about in the past? Well, don't worry. Ghana accounts for 1.1% of our listeners.
Ghana.
Awesome.
Ghana. Bringing it in.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
The entire country of India.
Time well spent. And then as far as Podbean's tracking, they track like the actual like downloads that they can keep track of. So in our first year, we did about 1,000 downloads altogether among everything, which is a small time for a podcast, but whatever. So by comparison, this year, we managed a little over 2,000 downloads.
Hey.
So effectively, by our own metric of counting stuff, we've doubled
That's encouraging.
Double things.
And just in case you're curious, the metric that we count is using M&Ms. We lay them out, and then as someone downloads, we pull an M&M and we eat it. That's how we measure our downloads. So we've eaten 2,000 M&Ms.
It's very high tech.
And our last bit of fun things that can be pulled. I have our top 10 most downloaded episodes from the year for 2022.
Drum roll, something.
Yep. So we'll count this down. So at number 10, and again, this is going to be weighted some because like our last few ones haven't really had the time.
True.
To run to like do the course of what
Plus they suck.
Gonna do.
I mean, Tokyo Tribe's really gonna kill it, Dustin.
I don't know.
You never know. Actually, it does have a lot of views on YouTube. That could be people looking for the movie. I don't
Probably,
know.
Yeah.
We trick
My favorite.
We trick them into watching.
And it's just Jason dancing like Buffalo Bill.
So, despite saying that the later year ones have like less momentum because of that, squeezing in at number 10 is a Serbian film.
All right.
So that kind of lines
Squeezing in at number 10. Fantastic.
That kind of lines up with our statistical data there we've got.
Okay.
How did you plan that?
What?
Squeezing in.
No.
Yeah.
I have no script. I just
It's off the cuff, man.
comes off the cuff.
Off the cuff.
That's usually how I walk into a joke with you guys. So. Like, what was it with the girl next door when I said it gets me hard or whatever? Yeah. Fucking shit.
Really? Oh, God. Great.
It was just Jason's face. I look across the table and he's like, oh,
Phrasing.
interesting.
At number 9, we have Let the Bullets Fly.
Okay.
Which is cool. That was a listener pick, right? Yeah, that's cool. At number 8, we have Knife Plus Heart.
That's a good one.
Good Giallo times. Number 7, we have Cat's Eye.
Great.
So I love doing that episode.
Yeah.
That was a fun one.
It was probably the cat Instagram post, too, that really drove people to that one. They were like, ooh,
People
cats.
love kitties.
Podcats. And I have a new podcat, by the way. I need to share it.
Oh, yeah.
New podcat?
Yeah, we took in that foster and it was going to be a foster, and then we failed to foster it and just adopted it.
Oh,
So,
awesome. Good. I love it.
expanding the podcat family.
Nice.
Number 6, we have Death Walks at Midnight. So clearly all the Jolly episodes do well, it seems. At number 5, Robot Carnival. So unlike our first year, I had an anime thing kind of sort of pull out well on things in the end.
Unlike the fact that that's one of the few dislikes we actually have on YouTube is just dislike your anime one.
Yeah, anytime we have an anime episode, it's always going to get like one downvote on YouTube, and I don't know what that is. It must be like one very dedicated person
You
that's
know
like,
who it is. Anime.lover69.
Oh, yeah. That fucker.
At number 4, Delirium.
Nice.
So again, the Jolly domination.
Nice.
Number 3, The Beast of War. So that was one of our first
Yeah, that
listener
was a good one.
episodes.
That was a really good one.
That didn't make my list, but it was a good surprise watch.
Number 2, Toombad.
Hey!
So see, Michael, no matter what happens, the India block was worthwhile for
Yeah.
Toombad.
Yeah.
No matter what you think of 13B or Ludo.
Honestly, as absolutely shitty as 13B was, that's probably one of the more fun
Oh, it's so
episodes
much
I've had
fun.
at talking
It was
about.
so much fun.
Yeah, if you like this for when we do have jokes and it gets pretty funny, that's one of the good ones. for
It's
sure.
the only thing to take out of that movie, man. That is it.
And a surprising upset at number 1, our top most downloaded episode of this year's episodes.
Please say Brimstone.
is from that block, but it's Kioma.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's Franco Nero.
Yep,
Who doesn't love Franco Nero?
everyone. So everyone loves him. And so I guess just what I want to say about Kioma is fuck you guys. Fuck you guys.
I didn't hate Kioma. I did not hate Kioma.
I would have liked Kioma a lot more had that caterwauling not been going on the whole goddamn movie.
It's definitely an acquired taste.
Or they hadn't left that baby to die at the end.
Hey,
Listen,
that's
as long as he's alive, he's free.
just- yeah.
Well, he ain't gonna be alive very long.
If he's dead, he's free too.
And he'll
It's
die a
whatever.
free man.
They got a free baby.
So to close out this section like we did last year, I have some random questions about the podcast to interview us all about.
I have a lot of questions too.
So first of all, for the year, what was your favorite episode or block of episodes or your favorite moment that we came across?
Oh God, what's yours, Michael?
Honestly, probably just shitting all over 13B.
That's fair. I love that one.
Because
Yeah.
the movie was so bad, there was no point And there wasn't a lot to get into, like as far as depth of the film. It was just a giant steaming turd.
Nothing to analyze, no theories.
So the only way to make that an enjoyable episode that anyone might want to listen to is just to full on let loose on that turd.
Which we rarely do, because we typically speaking, we like the movies we watch.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and that's probably, is that really maybe the first time we all three like super negatively?
Yeah, of course it was blind. No more blind picks. That was a fun, memorable one. I would also point out Cat's Eye.
Cat's Eye, yeah.
It was one of my favorites because it was great to revisit it and talk about it with you guys. And one of you hadn't seen it.
It was me.
Yeah. So that was awesome.
He's me.
I hadn't seen it since I was a kid, so
yeah,
it was good to go back.
It still holds up, and it's a great movie.
That's a film I've not seen in a long time.
I think for me, the one I'm going to do is, it was one of our quick cuts, but it's Pink Rabbit. The film directed by Zetkin Yakilmis. You sadly missed that one, Michael, due to scheduling, but
that was fun.
I love when we do the ones where we've like interacted with another filmmaker and they're like, "Hey, please watch my movie."
Yeah,
and then it's so enjoyable to go through that and then like devote the time to like really deep dive look at it.
It's great
and give more feedback than just like 800-word article or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't envy the position that you have to be in as like a complete indie filmmaker. Just like, I mean, like as a musician, you at least go and you play venues, and like whether people want to listen to you or not, they're there drinking.
Very direct feedback.
So, and yeah, but like with a film, somebody's got to actually devote the time for it to actually watch it. And it almost feels like you have to beg people, if it doesn't have a...
And it's so hard for those filmmakers to even get attention because how many movies are out there?
And where do you put it? Like, how do you get people to watch it? Unless you just drop it on YouTube and start like trying to... But then you make no money.
Yeah.
So what do you do? I do not envy.
Or you'll just get, taken off of YouTube because of their fucking standards and shit.
Yeah. I do not envy them at all. So it is super cool.
And I've seen on social media she's working on her next film.
Awesome.
So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully maybe when it gets out there we can, if we have the time, go back and check it out too.
Maybe I'll drop in on that one. We'll see.
Yeah, you should. Awesome.
All right, so we love you, Zetkin. Keep making films.
Yeah. Keep it coming.
So for 2022, were there any regrets that you have? Maybe this is something we didn't get around to, you had hoped we would do. Maybe a thought you left out on an episode, or maybe you've changed your opinion about a film since we've watched it, and you want to amend it a little bit.
Ooh. I don't actually regret anything I've ever said in my entire life. Cool. So I don't really...
Oh, man, that's a tough one because I can't think of anything right off the top of my head.
It was easy for me last year because, like, the second we finished doing Saint Maud, I regretted my review of it.
Yeah, you were completely wrong about that. Do you regret Brimstone yet?
No, I do not.
Okay.
100% do not.
Eventually you will. Like 10 years from now, you'll rewatch it for some reason. You're like, oh my God, Jason was right.
I've thought a lot more about the reflecting skin, but I don't change my review on it. But I find myself thinking about that movie, which honestly might maybe it should change my review. I don't know.
It probably should.
I don't know.
Because we've watched a lot of movies I've completely fucking forgot about and never think about again.
It's true. I was actually going back through our Instagram to remember what all episodes we did, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot we watched that. I forgot I watched that.
Well, I've got one. I'll throw out.
Yeah, do it.
It's not really a specific thing so much as it's, I wish we would have done more bonus episodes, but that really comes down to time and scheduling.
Yeah.
And we've all had, like, challenges this year with regards to that. With me, especially with my work. I've had to put in, like, crazy amounts of overtime, like, most of the year.
And hey, with me out of the picture, you might actually have time to do stuff, because I'm the one with...
We really, all three of us had different stuff going on.
No, Jason didn't have anything.
I have no life.
Yeah. He was here.
All right, well, it's really just you and me then. That's the problem. But,
Jason was here. He didn't fight it at all either. He was like, no.
Because we have had some other films like submitted to us by filmmakers that maybe we can circle back to at some point. I don't know. But it was one of those things, the time wasn't there to do it, so we just had to pass on it and let it go. So.
We turn these around pretty quick, too.
Yeah.
So, like, I know some of the pods you guested on this year that you guys have guested on, it could be like a month or 2 months before that actually drops. And ours... You're probably hearing it like a week and a half, after we've recorded
it. So we're fresh and topical.
So
or try to be.
Last year we tried to keep a lot more in the can, but this year, man, like...
It was impossible, really. We just had to do what we had to do.
Life. It's one thing if you're making money doing this, which nobody does.
Some people do.
They're lying.
I've heard rumors.
They're lying.
I listen to some where they make money. It's just their job, but
Yeah. If that was my job, then I could devote more time. But
so no other discernible regrets from you guys?
Not when it comes to this. Okay. If we're talking about life in general, well, pull up a chair, Sonny.
Hold on. That brings me to, I think, the greatest quote that I have seen this year.
Okay.
Which came from Jason yesterday. You guys were talking back and forth about watching, was it all of the Silent Night, Deadly Nights?
Oh, yeah. Which you can listen to that. Me talk about those in an upcoming episode for sure.
But Dustin referred to one of them as... What did you say? It was like mostly bad with a few memorable great moments, and Jason just responded to you with that sums up my life and I would like it on a tombstone. Which might be my favorite thing I've heard this year.
Yeah, it was when I finished the set and he was like, so what did you think in the end? And I was like, well, it's what you would expect from direct-to-video stuff from the 90s. Mostly bad with a few memorable moments.
Yep, it's my epitaph right there.
It sums up so many films that we watched, and it also sums up Jason's life to a T.
That's perfect.
And so then the next one is, since we are genre exposure and we often care about the genre and talk about the genre of the stuff we watch, what is one genre we have yet to cover that you would like to see us maybe try to get to in 2023? And I know you're not sticking around with us, Michael, but you can surely take up our mantra of magical thinking and project one out there into the ether.
Or just come back as a guest with one for us.
It's probably split because I would like to see a comedy, but that would be so hard to do.
Yeah.
Because comedy is so subjective.
We could have like 3 episodes and it would be like, here's Jason's the only one that likes it. Here's Dustin's the only one that likes it.
Yeah. But probably just straight action.
Okay.
Just a straight old school action film, I think would be... I mean, you could probably just pull anything from the 70s or 80s. And...
Yeah.
Because I'm a defender of that genre, like hard defender.
We've done some action, but not very much. You're right.
And it's never been the focus either. True.
Yeah.
So, I'm a hard defender of just like old school. I don't care how bad the script is. Just
like canon movies.
yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
I mean, like, I'm not going to shit on the movie because I think it's classic for a reason, but like I rewatched Die Hard for Christmas.
Oh, Die Hard's great.
But I just miss those kind of movies. Sure. I miss them where it was just...
It was actual like stunt work, model work. It wasn't all just CG.
It was gratuitous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great movie, but I don't know. I miss that kind of stuff.
RoboCop, stuff like that.
And those are still getting made. To an extent. I think there's people like Scott Adkins that are kind of trying to carry that torch, which those land themselves in a bit of a martial arts subcategory of action.
Yeah.
But they're still just action films.
Sure. Awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
We'll do more of that.
You got one, Jason?
I do. Fantasy.
Fantasy, yes.
We really haven't tackled any like true straightforward fantasy.
You just want to watch the Barbarian Brothers.
I do. And we might.
That has been set up and it's waiting in the wings. And we have continually brought up, we are all big into role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons, all that stuff.
And role-playing in general.
So it is interesting that we've not done fantasy yet.
I think the problem is because people know about all the really good ones, so you have to kind of dig a little deeper for the stuff people may not have seen. But they're out there. There's some. And we'll get to it. How about you? I'm sorry, go again.
I was just going to say, now is the current time for fantasy. Like with all these, like every streaming platform's trying to drop their own fantasy, like
mega series. That's their thing.
Yeah. So
true.
Get in on that bandwagon.
I think mine's going to be film noir.
Yeah.
Now, behind the scenes, we had almost done
a
noir block, but we got into the weeds on like classic film noir and neo noir and where do we draw the line and all that stuff, and we kind of just like dodged out of it.
Yeah.
So I would like to go back in on that and maybe just do specifically like old school film noir, like
40s.
It's got to be like
stuff.
40s, 50s, and earlier only. Because I dig that. I
like
the genre
Angels
so
with
much.
Filthy Souls.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's got to have that feel to it.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to be out there right now trying to find Angels with Filthy Souls.
They're on Letterboxd furiously searching.
Not a real film.
Where is it? What is it? I have to get the blue.
It's such a fun. I don't know. I rewatched that too for Christmas. So.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
And then, so I think that's all the questions I had. So the last thing, and just to recap this, we love doing our listener episodes, and we did a bunch this year. So I just wanted to run them all down and again thank the people that submitted them. Cool. So we had The Beast of War, so thank you, Nick.
Great movie.
Come True, thank you, Urban Groucho.
Fucking awesome movie.
Also, we love you, man. You're a frequent commenter on the Twitter, and we appreciate it.
He's probably going to get a blue check soon.
I mean, I would give him one if I could, but...
We're going to pitch in and give him... How much is it now? $8 or $5 a month?
I don't know. Let the Bullets Fly from Cliffy. Thank you, Cliffy. We also have some of yours in the wings waiting on. I saw what he gave us Millionaire's Express, and that's about to get a blue from Arrow.
Oh, cool.
So
it was mostly unobtainable before.
Yeah.
It was unobtainium.
Yeah, God damn it.
We did
thought of it as soon as you said it.
We did It Follows from Robert. Thank you, Robert. The Righteous from Colin. Thanks, Colin.
Great movie. Yeah,
the Sadness from Abe. Thanks, Abe. Sorry that I kind of trashed on that one.
It's a fun gore fest.
And our last one, The Girl Next Door from Elena. Thank you, Elena.
Yeah, good movie.
In fairness, I don't think Abe was championing the Sadness, because I saw his comment, and I don't think he was championing it. I think he was just throwing it out there.
It fits the genre we were doing.
I think he was throwing it out there. So
and I was glad to do it.
His favorite movie
too. That it was most of the films we did for that was older, from the 80s, or Serbian film was early 2000s ish area. So to do one that was very current, was cool.
Agreed.
Okay, well, that's, I think, all I really have about the podcast in general. We can get into our film discoveries.
The reason we're all here today.
The reason we're all here.
You're wondering why I gathered you here.
So these are our favorite film discoveries of 2022. Now, when I say film discovery, that's a film that you've watched for the first time this year. So it could be a new film that came out in 2022, but could also be something old that you've only watched for the first time this year.
Right. Got it.
Who would like to start us off?
Michael, why don't you go first?
Why? Why did you look at me?
I don't know. I just feel like you should go first.
All right. I'm going to do this kind of in order of how I liked them. Probably my favorite that I've watched at all this year was one that we did for the podcast, which was my first time seeing Phantom of the Paradise.
Nice. Oh,
it's so magical.
I loved it so much. It's one of those that I can't believe I somehow managed to not see. And then when I talk to some people that are friends of mine that are bigger into film outside of the two of you, because I only have one other person. Hey, Josh. He doesn't listen. It's fine.
He lives around here, right? So of course.
No, he lives in Columbus.
Oh, well.
Wait, you sure Josh doesn't listen?
No, I'm 100% positive.
Fuck you, Josh.
Yeah, because the last time I saw him, I had lunch with him, and he was like, "You still writing for that podcast?" And I was like, "One, no, that was a very different thing I did, and two, I mean, you don't usually write for a podcast, but it's fine, it's whatever."
Some of us write a little bit.
When I asked him, I was like, "Josh, have you seen Phantom of the Paradise?" And he was like, "Only about 100 times," and I was like, "Well, shit."
So good.
That's the thing is you'll go back to that film a lot now. It's on your radar.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I couldn't get enough of it.
Excellent.
Did I give you the year?
Was it 1974?
I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get the year for the rest of mine.
Sure.
Sorry.
Cool.
All right,
Great pick. That's a great movie. Love it.
Keep it clockwise, Jason.
Oh, okay. Asterisk here for first of all, because I actually saw Come True last year, even though we did it for a pod episode this year, correct? Otherwise, Come True would be on my list big time, because I freaking love that.
That's on my honorable mentions for mine.
Nice. I will start with one. Let's see. This isn't really in a particular order, but from 2009, Red Line, directed by Takeshi Koike.
Yeah.
Fucking love that movie. It's easily one of the best animes I've ever seen. Love the style.
I need to watch that. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's like an over-the-top galactic space race.
Yeah, were you not there for that?
No.
Dude.
No, you watched it on your own, I believe.
Didn't we cover that?
No.
Oh, fuck, we didn't cover that.
No.
It doesn't matter, though, right? Because it's whatever we've seen.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm being confused by our own rules.
You usually are.
It's very simple. Anything you've seen this year.
Right. See, that's the problem. It's very simple.
Oh, shit. It's very simple, Jason.
God damn it. All right.
He's so fucking condescending, isn't he?
Very simple. You fucking moron. It's very simple.
You're leaving. You're leaving me alone with this idiot.
Once you're gone, Michael, I'm just going to turn to the right and talk to you. Even though you're not here.
Anyway.
Yes, you should check out Redline, Michael. It's visually stunning. It has great characters and character design, great soundtrack. It's kinetic without being like a Studio Trigger type movie.
Oh, that's
it's not hyper kinetic.
I won't have a seizure.
Right. I mean, it's legit one of the best I've ever seen.
And the animation quality is like so fluid.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I don't know, how does that stand in the anime community, to your knowledge?
It's kind of forgotten these days, I would say, but like it's generally beloved.
Do they have kind of a short memory?
So listen, here's the thing about being an anime fan is if you're really, really into it, it's all about keeping up with like what's new and like the current season
Which is
that's
why I'm
airing.
so
and
behind.
It's this whole like treadmill you got to keep up on and be watching like the latest stuff.
Sometimes you got to go in the past.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Redline. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's fucking awesome.
And go back to
that's
the
always,
future, Marty.
That's always been one too that like if we ever did like a block of just anime films, that's always been a contender in my mind to talk about.
Definitely. I loved it.
Okay, so my first one. Which one do I want to take first? I'll save that one. So let's do a special thing happened this year. David Cronenberg came back to the cinema with Crimes of the Future. Now this has been pretty panned by now. I think there's a lot of mixed emotions and feelings about it.
It's not a David Cronenberg,
I'm here to tell you that you're wrong about it, and it's great. It's not the film that you wanted. Everyone wanted like another Videodrome, and I get that because that's like top shelf. But this is the movie that I think he wanted to and needed to make in 2022 in light of his career and the world and everything else. Mm-hmm. And I've watched it again since I saw it in theaters. I don't know if you have, Jason.
I haven't yet. I'm waiting to do that.
There's a lot of depth there. It's like getting like a big novel compared to like picking up a comic book or something. Like you can keep going back to it, and I think pulling more things out of it and noticing different stuff.
Nice.
And it's weird and it's awkward and it's very erotic and it's erotic in an awkward way, which is like the best of the stuff that he does.
Yep.
And I think it's very timely, very prescient about the world and where the future could go. And also in a lot of neat ways, it kind of looks at his own career of like being obsessed with these weird oddities and looking into like strange taboo ideas as an artist and a creator, which is like personified in the character who's the lead, Saul Tinser.
Yes.
So I love it. I think it's great. I'm going to keep going back to it. I think maybe in time it'll get vindicated more.
It will. Most of his films have.
Once the like initial disappointment sets off for some people.
The best thing I could say about that movie is that when it was over, I was like, no, I want more.
Yeah.
Give me more.
Yeah.
It can't be over yet.
Yeah, I think when we first talked about it, we said it felt a little bit like a TV show or something, but that's just because you wanted more.
Yeah. And there is more to tell.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
A good pick. That's a good pick.
All right, Michael.
All right. This next one, in terms of what I liked the most, I actually just saw for the first time last week.
Oh.
Because it came out, it was a holiday film, which is surprising that a holiday movie would be high up on my list. But it was Violent Night.
I've been seeing everyone talk about this.
It's fun. It's very fun.
Holy shit, I had so much fun. It's it's not a great film.
No.
Mm-hmm. By any means, but it's also hits my mark on that action thing too. That's just unabashed action for the sake of action. But I also can't think of a time when I just had that much fun watching a movie. For those that might not have seen it, it's David Harbour from Stranger Things fame, taking the role as Santa Claus, who is thrown into a Die Hard / Home Alone situation and must rescue a family that's being held hostage by some quote terrorists. They're not really terrorists. They're just
robbers.
Robbers, yeah.
It's like Die Hard.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. But oh my God, man. David Harbour.
It's his movie.
He's so much fun to watch. A lot of people complain. They're like, I wish the children weren't in it. And I'm like, get fucked. Like, what? How are you going to have a Santa movie with no children in it?
What's the problem with having the kids in
They
it?
said the kids were annoying. I'm like, kids are fucking annoying. Don't you have any? Like, I can tell you, they're very annoying.
I disagree with that. I really do.
See, that's like when people criticize the Babadook because the kid. I'm like, yeah,
It's the point.
that was the fucking point, man.
Yeah.
How else do you get it? Like,
Jesus Christ.
no, I had so much fun with it. It's streaming on VOD now, so
I'll have to circle back for it then.
And honestly, I think it's totally watchable outside of the holiday season as well, because it's just a fun action film. It did do my pet peeve of CG gore, but
Yeah, that's almost unavoidable anymore.
It's difficult to not do, but God, I had so much fun watching that movie.
And I saw people talking about this. It's owned by Universal, and there's another little movie owned by Universal called Krampus.
Oh yeah.
So what do you think of maybe a Violent Night Krampus mashup?
David Harbour fighting Krampus.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that.
I'd watch it. I did my rewatch of Krampus this year.
Such a good movie.
As always.
Yeah,
So
that's perfect.
Nice.
My turn?
Yes.
Okay.
Again, the rules are simple.
The rules are simple. Round
Remember
robin.
how we said that we were going to go clockwise? You're like, how does a clock work? The numbers aren't digital.
I don't know, but it's my shameful secret. I never learned how to tell time. I will go with a film that I saw that surprised me quite a bit with how much I liked it. Because I have had a tumultuous relationship with the director over the past several years. X by T. West.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Fucking love this movie. Fucking loved it. He's only done one other movie that I liked quite a bit. Actually, well, two to be fair, was Innkeepers, although I hated the ending. And House of the Devil.
Yeah.
was
House of
quite
the Devil's
good.
fucking great.
Yeah.
I also love The Sacrament, but I know a lot of people
Actually,
are
I
mixed
haven't
on that.
seen it. I need to see that one. But X I loved it. It blew me away. I thought it was great. I love the theme, the characters. I love the fact that it depicted people who make pornography as being actual layered people and not like just scumbags or, it's like they're people.
Yeah.
They have hopes and dreams. And
That got shit on. So now they're doing porn.
delivered on the violence, had some good gore and kills. In a perfect world, Mia Goth would be nominated for an Oscar. Probably won't happen.
Not for X.
No.
There's no way.
But she fucking deserves it. And it wasn't a fucking sequel or a remake, so that alone is worth something. But if you haven't seen X for whatever reason, go out and watch it, please.
I am in that camp. I still
You need to
haven't
watch it.
I still
dude.
haven't watched
It's
it.
really good.
I didn't like it as much as Jason, but I do think it's really good and worth a watch. So,
I usually don't listen to you a whole lot, Dustin. I usually will sometimes watch things to spite you. You'll be like, that movie was shit, and I'm like, well, we'll fucking see
right,
about
well.
that.
And he watches it like, oh god, it was
It
shit.
was shit. Oh no, Dustin was right.
well, buckle up when we get to the end and I whip out my dishonorable mentions.
Oh, okay.
All right, so my next one,
Excuse
keeping
me
it
while I whip this out.
keeping it modern, keeping it in 2022. This is another kind of like my first film. It's very divisive for people. I'm going with Alex Garland's Men.
I still haven't seen that.
I love Garland though. I absolutely love Alex Garland.
One of my favorite directors. I've pretty much loved everything he's done and worked on. And man, it just delivered. It's this perfect, great little tight folk horror film. It does all the like A24 modern art house horror stuff you want, where it's mixing up like a very serious relationship related topic and other themes of like depression and mental illness and things like
So
that.
it's elevated, is what you're saying.
Elevated, yes, very much so, and weaves that with like themes about toxic masculinity and like the history of that and how it's been. And I know, we hate it. It's
woke.
so woke, man. But man, it's so good, and like there's so many great little like gags and scares that like you never see coming, and they're executed so well. And just I love the camera work. It's so lush and vibrant, and the mood and the slow, like very deliberate tone. And it ends in one of just the completely most like bonker out of their final scenes where I won't spoil it because I still think some people who haven't seen it, if they don't know the kind of gotcha at the end, like, man, it's crazy. And it's so wild to see it. And there is some like CGI in the mix there, but they blend it so well. Like it's just crazy. It's one of those true like cinematic moments where you're never going to see that until you've seen this film, and it'll stick with you for a long time.
Damn, I'll have to watch it. Watch it soon.
So I loved it. I love Men. That one's
cool,
for you,
man.
Michael.
I love men. Why can't I find Amanda?
You're in a safe space, Dustin, and you can tell us whatever you need to. We're here to support you.
My next one was actually another one for the podcast that we watched. And it was actually my pick that I had never seen before. But it was when we did our films made for TV.
Oh, yeah.
Was 1971's Duel.
Classic.
Yeah, like, I'm sure a lot of people have seen this, but I just had never seen it. And, man, that's a masterclass in filmmaking. I mean, it's Spielberg.
So of course, but
like
for that early too to be what it is.
It just is a beautiful way of showing how to take not much and just amp up tension. And I mean, that's Matheson though. Like that's Matheson's calling card of just being able to take
the mundane, make it horrifying,
and just ramp it up and make you start to, get tense. And like, how often do you watch him? I felt like I had this last year too with, oh god damn it, Sorcerer.
Yeah, that one came out of left field for me.
Yeah, Sorcerer is kind of the same way. You can take a film and just really put you on the edge of your seat and ramp up the tension in a film. And Duel did that for me this year. So
nice.
I think it says a lot that it was your first time seeing it, and despite being so old and what it is, like it still was so impactful. It made this list.
Oh yeah, I mean, I still think about it.
It's awesome.
Every time honestly, has it not changed? Like, after watching it more recently, does it not make you look at semis in a whole different way when you're on the interstate?
A little bit, yeah.
When one starts riding you just a little bit too close, you might be like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get over. I'm not really going to...
Yeah.
Right.
I don't want to piss that guy
person.
off, you know? I'm just going to get over.
Between that and Joyride, man, like...
Yeah. Candy cane. Sorry. Have I told you that I make my wife say that? Every time she says candy cane for the holidays, and I'm like, what? And she's like, candy cane.
I was wondering in what context you made her say that. Thank you for clarifying.
If she ever says candy cane, I'm like, a what? Candy cane.
Nice.
You're welcome.
All right. My next one that also came out this year was Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Also
Great
A24.
movie.
I was
so much fun.
Just talking about needing to see that.
Great cast. I mean, Michelle Yeoh, Jamie Lee Curtis, Stephanie Sue, who I like a lot, and Ke Huy Quan needs to do more fucking movies. I know I said this last time when I talked about when I saw this movie, but the fact he hasn't been in any movies forever is a crime against humanity. And he should be forced to make more movies.
Well, I've seen a lot of the bigger film news outlets. They've all kind of picked up on that and been like, "Hey, where's this guy been?"
Yeah, seriously, he was so great. Original script, it was just plain fun too.
I'm excited.
Just a fun movie,
and more multiversal than Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness.
yeah. Well, I haven't seen. I can't compare it. But
I can, and I will.
There's actually a really beautiful interview with Michelle Yeoh where she's breaking down her career, and she cried talking about Everything Everywhere All at Once because she said it was the first time a director saw that she wanted to do comedy and that she could do comedy.
She's hilarious.
And she was like, you don't know what it means to an actor to want to do something and have everyone tell you that's not who you are, that's not what you do.
Yeah.
You're this ass-kicking...
Right.
Especially if you get typecast into a role.
And she has. I mean, she's great at what she does,
Sure.
but she has been typecast. And it was just such a beautiful interview. She cried. She was just like, I can't thank them enough for giving me the opportunity to show that I can do this.
And she was hilarious too. She was great. The whole Ratatouille bit it still cracks me up
And
whenever
then
I think about it.
the fact that I'd forgotten to watch it, and then I just told Piper over the weekend, I was like, oh shit, because we watched two things that had Michelle Yeoh in it, and I was trying to explain to her who she was.
What'd you watch?
One I don't want to mention because it's really bad. But I started...
Was it Discovery? Star Trek Discovery?
No. Piper wanted to watch it, but it was like The School of Good and Evil or something on Netflix. It's a Paul Feig movie. It was rough. It was real rough. But she's in it for like 2 minutes, and I'm like, how the fuck do you put Michelle Yeoh in a movie for 2 minutes? Like, she should be the fucking star. But then I started The Witcher Blood Origin today.
Oh, yeah. How's that?
Better than The Witcher. I mean, I'm sure people might shit on me for saying that, but it reads as original fantasy because it's not The Witcher.
Right, right.
Takes the same, backstory of The Witcher, but sets you in that with characters that aren't Geralt.
I think it's fine because the Witcher TV show's kind of already butchered the source material. So
yeah, but I mean, like,
just take the idea and run with it and do something else.
Yeah, and I feel like 90% of the people who watch The Witcher haven't read the books. No shade.
No, I haven't read them.
Like, it's no shade if you haven't, but like,
I have.
I also don't
Not
love
all
the
of
show.
them, but
I mean, I actually think you'd like it. I think you'd like Blood Origin
Okay,
actually quite a bit.
cool. We'll check it out. Sweet.
That's not on my list.
Cool.
But,
And another good fallout from this too I've seen is a lot of the like boutique Blu-ray labels. They've already been on this push to get like Hong Kong films now, and I've seen where several of like the early Michelle Yeoh films, they're getting picked up now to get like restorations and stuff.
There's so much HK stuff that needs to get picked up.
It's cool that that's like furthering that now too.
It's because they listen to this show,
Obviously.
and they're like, "Oh man, these three guys in a basement in Kentucky really." We could probably make $60.
I mean,
gentlemen.
they get their finger on the pulse of what was cool 30 years ago.
Probably not just us, but we are one pebble in the pond.
We stand to make 60
Big ones. I believe it's your turn now.
It is, yes. Here's my surprise one. I avoided mentioning to you guys that I saw this film just so I could talk about it now.
Oh no.
So this is not a modern one. It is modern, but not 2022. So from 2020, while I was on vacation, I finally sat down and watched Christopher Nolan's Tenet.
Yay!
And I fucking loved it,
Isn't
man.
it great?
So good.
It's so
I'm glad I
good.
remembered the segment that we're doing because I was like, he's about to fucking trash Tenet. Get it.
It's like, yes, it is basically just Christopher Nolan's James Bond, but like, the execution of it all the acting is so masterful from every single person that's involved. I love John David Washington as the lead. He just kills it.
The whole cast is great.
Whole cast is amazing.
Arpat for me in that one, though.
Part of the Arpat revival on his rise to being the Batman.
So charismatic in that.
Yeah. I love the ideas, the concepts, the weird sci-fi twisty stuff it gets into with the time travel and how all that works. And it was funny because I think I told you guys, like, we were at a beach house and it was like a family vacation. And so it was like me and my uncle, and we sat down to watch this, and like everybody else was kind of milling about. And other people would watch it for a little bit, and they'd be like, I don't know what's going on, and just like drift off.
Well, this is, in all fairness, this is not a movie you can come in on the middle of.
I watched to the end, and I was like, I don't know if I know what's going on.
Well, when we watched
God
it,
damn, it was good.
as soon as it was over, we went back and rewatched the first like 15, 20 minutes.
It makes a lot more sense.
It forces you to go back and reevaluate what you've seen. And I love that in a movie because it rewards multiple viewings.
Yeah, I have watched it another time since then too, so it's
Nice. Isn't an opening sequence just captivating? I mean, right from the get-go, he has you by the balls.
And like every set piece is just so well meticulously crafted and executed, and and it made me realize like this is what my problem is. I think with the James Bond films is they're like so formulaic now.
Yeah.
And with what they did with Tenet, it was so fresh the way they like injected all the sci-fi elements in, where it wasn't like over the top sci-fi, but it was like just enough to have a twist in there to make it really, really fresh.
I always felt grounded.
Yeah. It never felt like too far out there.
Yeah.
So I loved it.
Great movie. Awesome. I'm glad you liked it.
Nolan's such a great filmmaker. I mean,
I'm glad. I hope he doesn't go back to any more superhero movies, though. Because
I don't think he will.
I hope not. Because as much as I do like most of his Batman films, it's just he can do so much more than that.
Have you seen all the shit for Oppenheimer?
That's next year. We'll have that.
Yeah, not yet. I've been kind of avoiding anything about it.
He recreated a fucking nuclear explosion cloud without CG
practical. Yeah.
in practical, like in camera. And it's like, who the fuck does that? That's great.
He's a madman.
Yeah, I love that he's the type of director that has enough clout to say, I want to do this. And they're like, yeah, do it. But he's not doing stupid shit.
But will it be as cool as the nuclear explosion scene from David Lynch's Twin Peaks revival? No. No, it will not.
There's a different thing going on there, I think.
Oh, yeah, okay.
For sure.
That makes sense.
All right, this is number 4, right?
Yeah, it's your
for
last
me?
one.
One I just
Do you want to do your honorable mentions first before you... No, do you have honorable mentions?
I have some, but I can do them afterwards.
Well, then that will be ruined. That's your reveal will be right.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, my honorable mentions, one was Come True.
Yes.
Loved that film.
God, it's a
gorgeous movie.
That is like the type of movie that gets me. Like any movie that is very, ethereal, starts to question reality.
It's shoegaze made flesh. It really is.
Those are like my wheelhouse. Those are like my favorite things that you will absolutely suck me in with those and off maybe. I don't know.
Goodness.
No, I absolutely loved Come True. That was one of my honorable mentions. Another one I've already mentioned is what I watched on one of the podcast episodes, but it was that super quirky animated film, the Mitchells versus the Machines.
Oh, yeah.
So random and out of left field, and I was not expecting that. It's not from a major. It wasn't like Illumination or Disney. And I'm such a sucker for animation, which actually is gonna. It's my fourth pick.
Ooh, I think I might know what it is.
Oh, do you?
And
What do you think it is?
it's probably red.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Fine.
Well, let's have it.
No, my fourth and final pick was actually Del Toro's Pinocchio.
Really? Okay, I haven't seen it.
It's on my watch list.
It's good. It's really good.
Better than Disney's live action. Okay.
I didn't watch that. I have no desire.
Has to be. Has to be.
It's Del Toro. I mean, like absolutely Del Toro. It's very Pan's Labyrinthy in a lot of ways. The film took 10 years to make.
It looks amazing.
Everything is all the creature designs and like sculpt designs all look like just Del Toro just vomited on the page and they made them. You know, like even the whale is somehow Del Toro-ish. But it's such a sad film. And I think Disney, we've become kind of used to Disney's version of Pinocchio. And in reality, the actual tale is very dark, very sad.
Like all those old fairy tales.
And, now that you brought it up, I want to talk about a design thing with this film. I love the way they made Pinocchio look, where he's actually almost like just the block of wood fashioned into the boy. Because that's the whole thing, right? Is he's a puppet that wants to become a real boy. And then when you go, like, the trailer for the live-action Disney Pinocchio, he already looks almost 100% boy out the gate.
Well,
even in the cartoon.
Yeah.
And he's made of pure grief. You know, like Geppetto sculpts him because, I mean, spoiler, because his son dies.
Right.
And he's just made of pure grief. And, you know, and basically it's like one of those things where, you know, they, like in a Disney fairy tale, it would be like, oh, love brought him to life.
Yeah.
But in this, it's his grief that brought him to life, you know, and it's his sadness and his longing to fix what he can't fix. And like that resonated really heavily with me because I'm a tinkerer and I love to build and fix and make. And so I have a tendency to anything that breaks, I'm like, I can fix that. You know, nothing's truly broken because I can fix it. But in his story, he realizes like, oh, I can't fix everything. Like this is something I can't fix. So, you know, he just manifests that grief into Pinocchio. So if that at all sounds like something you would dig, like a very different take on the Pinocchio story. Also, the voice cast is so fucking good.
Isn't it?
David Bradley does Geppetto. And then all of Del Toro's regulars show up. So like Ron Perlman.
Nice.
Doug Jones?
No, Doug Jones is not in it. But Cate Blanchett is. Also, shit, who's the guy from the Lot 32?
Oh.
I see him. I can't place him.
Great character actor. I feel bad. That's kind of the downfall of a character actor, isn't it? That you know him from like everything that he's done, but you can't place him. But it's actually a Netflix original. So, sorry, Dustin. It's a Netflix movie.
They can be good. They can be good.
I absolutely loved it. I thought it was absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful film. Mastercraft in animation, too. I mean, yeah.
Well, I'll check it out because I wasn't going to because I don't really like the story of Pinocchio.
It's a different enough story
Okay.
that I think it takes on very... Ewan McGregor is also in it, and he's Sebastian J. Cricket.
Oh.
He's great in it. Like, he's basically the narrator. But it is Tim Blake Nelson. That's who I was thinking of.
Cool.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I think it's worth a watch. If you don't like it within the first 20 minutes, it's safe to turn it off. You won't like the rest of it.
Okay. Well, I will check it out, man. You persuaded me.
There's mine. All of my films. Forever.
Nice.
They will not get any better than those.
Nice. All right, Jason, do you have some honorable mentions?
Yeah, I'm going to do my honorable mentions. In no particular order, we got Nope, which I finally watched a couple of weeks ago.
I'm still going to watch that soon.
Very good movie. Very fun. Jordan Peele's amazing. There's certain sequences in this movie that will stay with you. I guarantee it.
Guarantee it?
Goddamn-ty it.
Whoa.
And I'll double certify that guarantee.
Thank you.
Triple dog.
I'm going to do a shout out to Deadstream.
Fun one, yeah.
Directed by Joseph and Vanessa Winter. It's very low budget.
I love that one.
Very DIY. Lots of fun.
Very Evil Dead.
Yeah. The Righteous. from 2021.
Hell yeah.
Honorable mention. Also, Pearl, the sequel to X, or prequel, I guess, technically.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned The Righteous too. I meant to talk about this when I was talking about the podcast stats and info and stuff, and I forgot to mention it. The director of The Righteous actually reached out to us and left us a comment on that episode.
So awesome.
And he thanked us for watching it and reviewing it and
That's so
taking the
cool.
time to talk about it and
That
stuff.
is so cool.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah. I wonder how he even came across that.
Probably just Twitter algorithms.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
amazing.
I thought about tweeting back and be like, well, I didn't fucking watch it, so suck it.
Well, I'm glad you didn't do that.
What else we got?
Oh, you mean you don't want to actually shit on a director of a film where they might actually see it? I don't know, like Brimstone?
I have no regrets about Brimstone. I will say everything I said to that man's face if I have to.
I like Brimstone. I like it. I will defend it. All right. Orphan, First Kill.
Oh,
Believe it
yeah,
or not,
you were
makes
jazzed up about that,
Yeah, it's so good. It's actually really good. I suggest you check it out. Coming Home in the Dark from 2021.
yeah.
Saw that. That
Love
was a fun, soul-destroying movie. The Rental from 2020.
I still need to see that one.
Directed by Dave Franco. Yeah, it's very good. I cannot recommend it enough, especially if you stay at a lot of like Airbnb type places.
Thankfully, it wasn't directed by James Franco.
Yeah, no,
been weird.
thankfully no.
The Rental.
And Red is an honorable mention for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all my honorable mentions.
Now, I think you have some dishonorable mentions. Do you want to?
Oh, do I want to do those right
you
now?
wanna dole those
Or
out
do we
too?
save those for the end?
Do you have some too, Michael? Or
I don't really have any dishonorable ones because, you know,
There's some I feel like I need to shit on.
I'm a positive Peter.
okay, well, I have a few too. So do yours now, then do your final one, then I'll do my.
Okay, do my dishonorable mentions
Yeah.
and then do my favorite. Okay. Although, honestly, my movies aren't like in any particular order. I like them all the same.
Oh, wait, Alone in the Dark. I'll just put that there. That's the one I didn't like.
Alone in the Dark.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
So it's,
Some of Jack Palance. He's a serial killer from 82.
I mean, I talked about it in the episode, Dustin.
Sure.
Jack Schroeder directed it. Walter Matthau's in it. Donald Pleasance.
I tuned you out.
Okay.
I think you'll like it more than him.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so some of my dishonorable mentions.
Listen, I'll preface it with this because I think you and I are in the same place on this. It was a great year. 22,
It was a great year for horror.
2022 was an awesome year for horror. It was also an awesome year for a lot of shitty horror
It
films.
was. I feel like maybe I should throw out as an honorable mention Terrifier 2 as well. It was a lot of fun. I got to see it in the theater. Great time. I love art.
But that being said,
That being said, some of the worst ones were, for me, VHS 99. There were a couple of bright spots.
the last segment, which was the Deadstream people,
Yes.
that
Yeah.
was probably the best.
That was the best.
Yeah.
But oh man, it was disappointing. Very disappointing. I don't know why I keep watching these fucking movies.
And there's one next year.
Jesus Christ.
And you know they're going to get me back because they're bringing in Scott Derrickson. So
Uh-oh. 13B, Fear Hasn't Been Addressed. But with an asterisk, though, because it was so much fun to talk about.
I can't wait for the sequel.
Fear's new phone number. They/them, which, you know, thumbs up for the message it has. I'm all about that. But, oh my God, it was such an amateurish, horrible movie. I mean, it's like baby's first horror movie. And it's just terrible.
I think it hurt him.
I love that Jason said baby's first horror movie.
Show me on the chart where the film hurt you, Jason.
R.I.P.
Well, that could be a multitude of places.
I think we might spar on this, Dustin
Okay.
and I, here in a minute. But Dark Glasses, Argento's new one. Oh man, it starts off promising. It's actually kind of like, okay, hey, this
Dustin's body language changed, and he like kind of tensed up and glanced at me like,
is getting conversational. But I think it's a big smoking turd. I think it's terrible. I mean, not that we should be surprised, because Argento hasn't made anything worth watching since Opera.
Listen, when you watch it and it's the secret Shutter screening,
Maybe you were excited for that,
there's
but
this
I mean,
ambiance that elevates the film.
I'm sorry, you may be being served something on the silver platter. You take off the tray, it's a big steaming turd. It doesn't make it any better how you saw it.
yes.
Another one we might fight on is Smile.
Oh, fuck you, Jason. This show's over, man.
Derivative,
What?
boring, predictable, boring. Derivative.
That's actually my epitaph.
I just did not care for this movie one bit.
Wow.
Yeah. The big one, though, of course, I think we're probably all going to agree on this, is Halloween Ends.
I actually didn't watch it
How could you not watch it?
because after honestly, there wasn't going to be anything better than your all's commentary on it because you both were like almost live tweeting while watching it.
Oh yeah,
and.
Yeah.
It was funnier than anything else that, like, if I were to watch the movie, I'd be like, oh, this is bad, but, like, I'm glad it exists because I got to read that thread.
Oh, it's so bad. And it's boring. That's the biggest sin.
Derivative.
Repetitive. And boring. But at least Halloween Kills was, like, funny in a bad... I mean, it's a bad movie, but it was, like, funny.
Bad, yeah.
Right. But this was just taking itself so fucking seriously. Oh, fuck you. This movie sucks.
Yeah, but I heard the novel kind of fixes all the problems.
Oh, great. There's a novel. Wonderful.
Did you guys know that all the people on Exegol
I did not know that.
Listen, if you need a comic or book or audio drama or any kind of that shit to explain your movie, it's a bad movie.
You failed. You have failed in your basic job. Okay. More pleasant things.
So all that said,
I think that's all my dishonorable mentions. Yes. My last big favorite surprise from the year was Jackass Forever.
yeah.
wow, okay.
Fucking loved this fucking
so
movie.
fun.
It was so funny. It is the perfect, hanging out with friends, drinking beers. It is the perfect movie for this.
I watched it with my toddler.
I laughed so hard at this movie.
I'm with you. I did too.
And it was like surprisingly heartfelt in places. It's like you're watching these people torture each other, but you can feel the love they have for one another.
It didn't do, and I think it's also a safe one. There's a few dick jokes in there, but not like
There's a lot of dicks in there.
But it wasn't to the level that they did like previously, like the eating yellow snow and like.
Yeah.
They didn't go for the gross out humor as
Right.
much.
And that was
this
always my
time.
least favorite stuff on Jackass. Usually.
This one is more genuine, like, I want to terrify my friend and make them question their life.
Yeah, but also it wasn't like mean-spirited or cringe humor either.
No.
Because like the Borat stuff, I hate that shit. To me, it's just a little too cringy. Even though he's pointing out horrible things about horrible people,
Borat,
it's very uncomfortable for me to watch.
I don't like Borat, but my opinion on it changes when I listen to him talk about it. And
Yeah.
you hear like the fact that they're setting up bits with people that they don't know how they're going to respond, and then they respond worse than they thought they would. And like then Sacha Baron Cohen has to be like, holy shit, I have to run with this and see how far it'll go. Like
I can appreciate the work that goes into that.
Yeah,
but it's still just so uncomfortable to watch.
I think his comedy is a very the Sacha Baron Cohen comedy is a very jester type comedy. Where it's like I'm going to
holding a mirror up to people.
Yeah, and that's a very specific type of comedy.
But Jackass Forever was like, I'm like the scene where they put everyone in the dark and they make them think that there's a snake loose. Oh God.
Oh, that one was great. That was a good bit.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I haven't had that much fun in a
I think
movie.
I got bit.
They run out, there's mouse traps all over the floor. Oh, I hadn't laughed that hard at anything in a long time, so it was very welcome.
Yes.
Dustin.
Okay, so I'll start with my honorable mentions because again, it was a great year for horror.
It was a great year.
So honorable mentions include X. Again, I didn't love it as much as you, Jason, but man, just such a solid film. Good to see Ty West back in there making movies. Who
Is
knew
it T or Ty?
I've heard it both ways.
TT?
I've heard it both ways.
Ty T?
Maybe he'll reach out to us and let us know.
I'm sure he will.
We want to say your name right because we like you. Nope. Gotta have Nope on there. So good. Just I like it better than Us. I don't know if I like it better than Get Out, but
it's just a smidge from greatness, isn't
yeah,
it? Yeah.
it's almost there. But the ideas behind it, and again, there's one like horror gag that's like, ooh, it goes so hard.
It sticks with you.
So good. Watcher. That was one of those Shudder originals that I streamed. Told you guys about.
Haven't seen that yet.
Really good. Really stuck with me after I watched it. So I loved that one. Controversial edition. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Netflix's
I forgot all about that.
reboot cool destroying film entry in the franchise. Loved it. It was fucking ridiculous, over the top. It did exactly what a film needs to do if it's going to be a reboot cool, which is to just shit on the legacy stuff and be like, it doesn't matter. I love that they had the balls to do that. It was so over the top and so crazy and mean-spirited. I appreciate it greatly. And then my fifth honorable mention that I got to get in there is Smile. And what I want to say about Smile is that I think I went in with like the worst expectations because I was seeing it at a budget screening with a friend, and we were like, whatever, we're just gonna like shit on it, I guess, and walk out. It doesn't matter.
Well, surely that has skewed your perception of it.
And then when I actually watched it, I was like, no, this isn't. I thought it was going to be Truth or Dare, Blumhouse's Truth or Dare, but it wasn't. It was this deeper film. It was this deeper film with like, it had the good like Babadook like emotional mental trauma as horror thing going on. I sincerely liked some of the like scare gags that they had, especially the whole like head drooping spin in front of the car.
See, I thought that was
moment.
silly. I thought it was silly.
I liked where it ended up at and the conclusion, and then it does the whole like reverse fake out ending kind of thing. It made me think a lot of like a J-horror film, as if it were like the American remake of a J-horror that doesn't exist. And so I just kind of like that vibe and that tone to it.
Well, that's one of the things I found derivative about it. It was a lot like The Grudge.
Would you say it was derivative and boring?
Repetitive.
But the thing is that it's nothing specifically that it's derived off of, so...
Well, I mean, I can think of a million movies that it's just like Smile or Grudge or anything where there's a curse. And you get the whole boring research scene, and you're like, yeah, we're steps ahead of you. You're catching up to us. Yeah. Okay, anyway.
I don't know. We're split on it, but I quite liked it. So
okay, I'm glad you liked it.
And what I want to conclude about it, though, is that I'm glad for films like this because I think there needs to be studio horror films that do well so that they will keep throwing money at people to make stuff like this.
Shit, that reminds me. Can I back up real quick?
Yeah.
Another honorable mention, Barbarian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the same kind of thing. It was a studio horror film that surprisingly did pretty well.
Yeah.
We need those to exist, even if we want to be like the cool underground.
Oh, yeah.
I hate the mainstream.
Dude, I want popular, good, mainstream horror films. But the emphasis has to be on good. Mm-hmm. You know? I'm sorry, go ahead.
So that being said, it was also a very bad year for horror films. And a few that I want to highlight. VHS 99. What the fuck's going on with that? I don't know. I'm so scared about this next one. I hope that they save it somehow. Yeesh, so bad. And it was
not even any Rotman in this one, you know?
No. And it was one of those things like when I watched it, I was just like, why do I keep watching these?
Yeah.
But hey, here we are. Halloween Ends, of course. Nothing else needs to be said about it. I do think that the idea of the movie of like the copycat killer thing was like a cool idea. And in the right hands, it could have been a fun sequel, but...
That's the frustrating part. Yeah. There's a kernel of a good movie in there.
And you see that one part and it entices you. Mm-hmm. And then when you get into it, it's so bad.
Yep.
The Hellraiser 2022. I don't know if this is a remake or a reboot or what. But
about that, yeah.
God, and from the director it's from, it's like so disappointing that you see the other films and you're like, yes, this guy could do Hellraiser easy. Was it David Bruckner, right?
Yeah.
And God, it was just it was all the worst parts of all the terrible direct-to-video Hellraiser sequels, where there's like none of the sensuality or the eroticism, none of the interesting lore,
none of the envelope pushing.
Yeah, it was just so by the numbers, so generic. It was a slasher film with Cinebites in it,
a waste,
which is everything that you don't want Hellraiser to be.
Yep.
And then it's not horror, but I thought I would just toss this in here. As an entirety, Marvel Phase 4. What a mess the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been in. I haven't hated all the Phase 4 films. Like, I think the Spider-Man one, No Way Home was good. I actually kind of like the Eternals when most people hated that one, but...
It is what it is.
Sheesh, like all the rest, like, God.
If your series of films needs to be designated as a certain phase, fuck you, I'm out.
And clearly they are aware of this because they've been making the news around about like, oh, we realize we've kind of gotten off the rails and we're going to try to course correct it. So
just like any comic book line.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. But so that brings me to my final pick for the year, steering us back into horror to talk about from 2022, Speak No Evil. This is about a Danish family that visits a Dutch family that they meet on holiday.
This is on my list.
And they come over to stay for the weekend, and it's a textbook lesson in envelope pushing and the slow descent into insanity.
Dude, I'm gonna have to watch it tonight.
And if you love a good, like, soul-crushing, leave-you-feeling bad film, this is the one to check out from this year, because, God, you will be, like, up off the couch screaming at the TV.
Oh, awesome.
And I've seen criticisms of it where they say, like, of the main characters, like, no realistic person would go through and, like, let everything pass that they let pass. And to that I say bullshit, because I have seen people that are these people in the film,
Like
and
make excuses and stuff
and
like that.
excuse every little thing until it's far too late.
Yeah.
So I do believe this could happen, and you just got to let yourself go with it and roll with the story. And it's super soul crushing, and you will be very depressed when it's over. But it has that cathartic, like the Hereditary style soul dumping.
All right.
After it's over, you have that release, and
I'm
you
down
feel
for this.
good. So creative, so out of left field. I don't think the director's maybe done like some shorts otherwise. Christian Taftrup. Loved it. Would love to see whatever they're going to do next. Ooh, so good.
Excellent. I'm going to watch it.
Bleak, but good. So those are our film discoveries.
All right.
Go check those
Hopefully
out.
you guys agree with some of these. Perhaps you disagree. Please let us know.
Write in, let us know what your favorite film discoveries. I'll probably make a post to prompt that.
Yeah. Let us know how
Here.
wrong Dustin is about Smile.
Yeah, fight him in the comments. fight him in the comments.
Oh, you know what? Maybe this is a good time to mention this too. I rebranded my social media stuff.
I saw that.
I had been using like my old gamer tag, and it was kind of like outdated and didn't really make sense anymore. And I'm always going back and forth whether I want to be involved on Twitter or not, and do I, don't I? And so I rebranded now and everything, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at I've Got the Blue. That's BLU, like Blu-ray. I think what I'm trying to challenge myself to do to actually use Twitter in some small capacity is that anytime I watch a new film for the first time, I'm going to like share the Letterboxd log and do like a tweet's worth of commentary on it.
Okay.
Since I don't always have the time to write like a lengthy thing like I would like to.
Right.
Just something fun. So if you want to talk about movies or role-playing game stuff or whatever, I'm kicking it over there.
Nice.
Almost
Do you have to take a shot every time you read it?
I don't know. Maybe. That's might be dangerous.
That might actually get me on Twitter.
But I've already started. You can see my tentative thoughts about the latter part of the Silent Night, Deadly Night franchise
Nice.
on there. I'll mostly just be sharing shit that I buy. Nothing exciting.
Very cool.
I will probably always hold off on Twitter. I don't think I can bring myself to
I
be
can't
on there.
justify it at this moment.
I do the
Definitely not.
Insta. More Bean than Gene. If you
Yep, if you want to keep up with Michael.
keep up with I don't ever post. I may
I'm
start
bad
posting.
about that
I may
too.
start posting things I make. So
Cool.
you know,
Usually just pictures of my cats.
yeah.
So that brings us to the end of the show, and that brings us to talking about what's ahead in 2023. So the elephant in the room that we already know about that we got to talk about for a second.
Yeah, I'm fucking out, guys.
Michael's leaving us.
Peace.
I am going to focus more on some different aspects of my life.
Being a lazy stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
Eating bonbons on the couch.
You're one step closer to becoming the sitcom you always wanted to be.
I am. No, it has been a blast doing this. The whole reason I'm leaving is as my child gets older, just gets more and more demanding. I have to kind of split where I want to put my time. And as we've mentioned many, many times, we're all role players and RPGers and everything like that. And doing this podcast has kind of started to infringe on whether or not I have the free time to spend a role playing.
Yeah.
And God, I miss that.
Oh, yeah.
So
You got to make time for just hanging and mental health stuff too. You know.
yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, so kind of those things have suffered for me. It's different, you know. Life is different from where it was. And it's not a bad thing. I really like where my life is right now, but it's just different from when we started the podcast. And I always said that if this ever felt like it was becoming more of a job, and I was really like, oh, I got to do this, you know, like squeeze it in, then it's time for me to step away because that means I wasn't going to enjoy it.
Right.
Just walk away.
Yeah. And so that's essentially what I'm doing. I am breaking up with Jason. I'm sorry to.
Yeah, right. As if you could.
My heart.
I'm sorry to. I mean,
if
you know, the sex is going to be way better after
can't
we've
quit
broken
me.
up.
Yeah.
It's going to be a
Nice
lot
hate
better.
fucks.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So it is going to be left with just these two guys for right now. I don't know what their plan is coming for the future. But
Bottom line is, Michael doesn't love you as much as we do, dear listeners.
I mean, that's probably true.
That really wasn't where I wanted to stop on. I wanted to stop on, hey, everybody, join us in wishing Michael well. You always have a place on this show.
I'm sure he'll be back.
If you ever want to hop in just for one episode or curate one of our blocks or drop an article on the blog.
Oh, don't worry.
whatever.
I'm going to curate a block.
He's talking about pooping.
I've got no strings to hold me.
And, your influence will live on. We're going to keep your bumps and stuff, your music cues.
Oh,
they're,
yeah, we're
they're
totally
perfect.
keeping that shit. That's property of us now.
You'll be here a little bit behind the scenes on these next few episodes as you teach us how to do the editing behind the scenes, which was your responsibility.
Yeah, so go a little easy on them if it's a little...
It might suck, but
bear with
it'll probably
us.
still be better than most of the podcasts out there.
It's true. Ooh, shots fired.
I kid.
That's the boldest I've seen you be about our show.
I kid.
That one wasn't even over the bow. That was like at the hull.
But so to recap it, Jason and I are going to come up with some plans for the future. For now, we're just going to be a duo, do it like we did the Extreme Horror block. January is going to be freestyle time. We're just going to pitch some films that we've wanted to talk about that there was no block that fit to ever bring them up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, numbers-wise, that worked really well for the podcast. So
Yeah.
maybe people were like, "Oh, thank God, Michael's not there. Let's actually listen to this shit now."
And until we have like another host, or if we have guests, or I don't know what we're going to do, but for the time being, your pick of a film, Michael, will still exist. And if we don't have a person to join us, we were just going to put another listener episode in.
The ghost of Michael will always be present.
Yes.
So that will be the honorary slot, in a sense, of our rotation of films we talk about.
All right. Well, you got anything else, or do I get to do my last send-off?
No, man.
I think that's it.
Take it away.
2022 was crazy but fun, and I'm looking forward to another year.
Yeah, same here, man.
All right. Well, since it's my final time doing it, it has been so much fun working on this podcast, interacting. Honestly, my favorite part of it's probably been interacting and just reading comments from people who actually take 2 hours out of their
We appreciate it, and it
life
means
and
so
listen.
much to you. Like, oof.
reminds you that you're not just talking into a void. I mean, I usually am. But these guys are definitely going to need much more of your suggestions since there's
Please.
going to be
Yeah, bring it on.
a lack of my opinions running around. So please continue to send those in however you like. If you, Dustin's going to be the next Twitter influencer.
Oh, God, no.
So, hit him up on Twitter. I've got the blue. No E.
Nope, like Blu-ray.
Or you can find Jason lurking on whatever random porn chat site he's on. And you can be like, hey, I recognize this guy. Here's a movie recommendation for you. I know that wiener anywhere.
Don't be afraid to say hi, folks.
Yeah. Or Dustin does do regular Instagram posts. We do the Facebook thing,
Find us where you can find us.
Yeah, wherever you want to do it. Or if you just want to do the old-fashioned email. We've actually got a few of those from there.
They're fun.
And those are totally cool, too. So it's been so much fun. I will miss you guys, but I will still be watching all of your interactions, and I know where you live. Okay.
Oh, whoa, okay.
You've been listening to Genre Exposure.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.